Let's discuss about the effect of concentration on conductivity as well as the molar conductivity. So, in order to study this concept, so we have to understand very nicely. So, you know the simple table salt, that is sodium chloride. So, you are going to take, you are going to make dissolve in the water, right? So, what happens? So, if you take the one pinch of the sodium salt and you are going to add some half glass of the water, right? So, you are going to doing the stirring, right? So that is called dilution. We are going to, what is the dilution? Dilution is when you are going to add the water to any solid molecules. So that depends upon the concentration, right? So yeah, what happens? You know, general when the dilution goes on increases, that concentration of that solution, that concentration goes on decreases always, right? When you are going to adding the furthermore molecules of the water, the concentration of the solute particles goes on decreases here. So why it happens? So let's take simple concept here. So now I am going to take, and this is an electrolytic solution. In that electrolytic solutions, the ions must be present here, right? So now I am going to take an ions, that is cation and anion. What happens? I am taking the volume is very less here. I am going to take the volume is very less. What happens when I take the volume less? The force of attraction between the cation and anion will be more here. That is called force of attraction will be more here. Because the volume is less, what happens? Obviously the concentration of the molecules, they are very near and force of attraction will be there. Now I am going to add further diluting. Now I am going to add further more molecules of the water. What happens here? So now I am going to increase the volume. What happens? The distance between the cation and anion, they are going to make a far distance from this cation and anion, because when we are going to increase the volume is going to increases. What happens? The force of attraction decreases. I mean, the dilution goes on increases, that concentration goes on decreases. Right now, I am going to add further. What happens? The molecules of in the ions, they are going to get apart, far away from each other. Once again, when the force of the attraction decreases, the distance between the cations and anions goes on increases. So the concentration decreases. When you are going to add the dilution increases, and what happens? Force of attraction decreases. Dilution increases, concentration decreases, and force of attraction between the ions decreases. Why? Because the cations and anions distance will be increases. Here the distance will be goes on increases. So what about the molar conductivity? So the molar conductivity, that is called lambda m. So that lambda m that increases, that how it increases? The molar conductivity that goes on increases on the, when you are going to add the dilution, on with the dilution. The molar conductivity of the solution increases with dilution. So this is the way the effect of concentration which makes on the conductance as well as this molar conductivity. If V be the volume of the electrolytic solution that containing the 1 gram of the volatile, 1 gram of that volatile electrolyte, then we are going to write the molar conductivity. So that is as lambda m, that must be equal to K into V, because the volume of the solution of an electrolytic solution that containing the 1 gram of the electrolyte, right? So that's why we are going to write the relation, that is lambda m is equal to K into V. V means volume of the electrolytic solution. K means conductivity of the solution, and lambda m, you know this one, that is called molar conductivity of the solution here. Now, if I take a strong electrolyte here, strong electrolyte example is NaCl, right? If I take a strong electrolyte here, what happens? The conductivity of that strong electrolyte, decreases with increase in the dilution. Why it happens? Why this much happens in this one? So the conductivity of the strong electrolyte, that is NaCl, decreases with increase in the dilution. I mean, when you are going to dilute it further, what happens? The conductivity of that strong electrolyte, that is NaCl, goes on decreases, because you know the strong electrolyte, that is what the complete dissociation will take place. When you are going to take an electrolyte, when you are going to dissolve the water, what happens? Complete dissociation will take place, and if we add further dilution takes place, what happens? This dilution doesn't affect on this strong electrolyte, because they are completely so dissociation is taken place, right? So that's why the conductivity of the strong electrolyte decreases with further increase in the dilution. But what about this weak electrolyte? So what happens in the weak electrolyte? It increases with increase in the dilution. Why? Because if I take an acetic acid means weak electrolyte. What do you mean by this weak electrolyte? Weak electrolyte is nothing but a partial dissociation will take place when you are going to add this one. So what happens if you add in the further dilution? What happens? The dissociation, the degree of dissociation goes on increases on you are going to adding the dilution. So that's why the weak electrolyte conductivity goes on increases with when you are going to adding further molecules of the water, that dilution increases, weak electro conductivity also increases. Now we have seen the conductivity, right? What about the molar conductivity? Yes, we are going to see here. This is a plot of the graph versus molar conductivity versus concentration, that is in the mole per liter, right? So what happens when you take about this one strong electrolyte? So KCl means strong electrolyte, acetic acid is weak electrolyte. In case of strong electrolyte, there is a gradual, this is called gradual decrease in the molar conductivity because of the, once again, the complete dissociation of the ions will take place on adding further dilution. That doesn't affect on this one. I mean, the degree of dissociation goes on decreases. So that's why the gradual decrease you are going to see in the strong electrolyte. What about this one acetic acid? There will be a sharp decrease in the molar conductivity because when you are going to add the dilution, because weak electrolyte means partial dissociation will take place. If you are going to add further dilution, the degree of dissociation goes on increases. So that's why there will be a sharp, very sharp decrease we are going to see here. But this is a gradual decrease we are going to see in the strong electrolyte. Discuss about the Colores's law of the independent migration of the ions. If I take the for strong electrolyte here, so that is lambda m is equal to lambda m naught minus a into c power 1 by 2. A into c power 1 by 2. So here lambda m is nothing but the molar conductivity and lambda m naught is nothing but the limiting molar conductivity. When you are going to say limiting molar conductivity means that should be limit will be there. That is when you are going to adding further dilution, what happens that concentration decreases. But at the stage the concentration becomes 0. At this stage we are going to call as the this is called limiting molar conductivity. So this is about the limiting molar conductivity. This is molar conductivity. This is A is some constant and this is C is nothing but the concentration. So here this equation is nothing but the straight line that it gives slope because this is the form of y is equal to mx plus c form. So here the m is nothing but the minus a, x is nothing but the concentration plus c is nothing but the this is lambda naught. According to this law, the limiting molar conductivity of an electrolyte can be represented by the sum of the individual contribution of the cations and anions in the molar conductivity. So let's take for the, so this is called lambda m naught means the limiting molar conductivity, right? So now I am going to take one electrolyte that is called NaCl. I am going to take here. So according to the Colores's law, it that the sum of the individual contribution of the cations and anions like this should be there. So this is the, according to this law, we are going to write the limiting molar conductivity for an electrolyte here. Let's solve simple problem on the limiting molar conductivity. So the calculate the limiting molar conductivity, the value for the calcium chloride as well as the magnesium sulfate from the given values. They are going to give the individual ions, that is calcium, chloride, so magnesium and sulfate. So let's start with the calcium chloride. You know the calcium chloride. First we should write the reaction. Calcium chloride means we are going to write in normal reaction, that is CaCl2, calcium chloride. What happens? So this is a start, right? This calcium loses 2 electrons because, right? So this is readily loses the 2 electrons, and which is these 2 electrons from this calcium, which is going to be received by the 2 chloride ions, that we are going to write like this, right? So this is in the normal reaction. When we are going to apply for this reaction, it is limiting molar conductivity. How we are going to write here? The limiting molar conductivity for the calcium chloride as like this should be there. That is limiting molar conductivity of the individual ions, that is Ca2 plus and Cl minus. So when you are going to substitute the values here, what is the value of this one? Ca2 plus, that has given 119 cm square per mole plus 2 into what is the value of Cl minus, that is 76.3 cm square per mole. So after this simple calculation we are going to get the value. So this is the multiplication, 2 into 76.3 plus 119, we are going to obtain the values 271.5 cm square per mole. So this is a simple calculation. So next we are going for the magnesium sulfate. How we are going to write the magnesium sulfate? So like this simple, magnesium Mg2 plus sulfate 2 minus ion, same will be the redundancy. So we are going to apply the limiting molar conductivity for the magnesium sulfate, that is nothing but the individual ions. Limiting molar conductivity for the magnesium cation and as well as the sulfate ions. So we are going to write the values for magnesium, that has given 106 plus sulfate has given 160. After this simple calculation, 1 plus 1 2 6. So this is C1 centimeter square per mole, because the unit of the molar conductivity is C1 centimeter square per mole. So this is about the calculation of the limiting molar conductivity when they are given the individual ions. Let's discuss about the one of the variety problems from the limiting molar conductivity. So it has given the limiting molar conductivity for the NaCl, that is strong electrolyte, HCl strong electrolyte, and this is also strong electrolyte, that is called sodium acetate. The values are 126.4 for this NaCl. So this is the value for this one, and HCl value has given 425.9 and sodium acetate value has given 97 cm square per mole. So our aim is to find out the calculation for the limiting molar conductivity for the acetic acid. So first we should study about this one. First one, they are given the limiting molar conductivity for the NaCl, right? How do you write this NaCl? That is called individual of their ions, right? So the molar conductivity for the cations and anions, like this you are going to write. What is the value has given? The value has given 126.4 cm square per mole. What about this one? Second one, that is HCl. HCl is nothing but the same separation of the ions. The value has given 425.9 cm square per mole. Last one is sodium acetate has given. So how do you write this one? So limiting molar conductivity for the acetate ions, CS3CO minus plus this Na plus will be there. What is the value? That is 97. So now in order to obtain this one, we are going to simple calculation here. So this I am going to call equation number 1, this equation number 2 and this equation number 3. So by using these three equations only, we should find out the limiting molar conductivity for the acetic acid. How we are going to do this one? So because we require the acetate ions, right? So when you split this acetic acid, that forms the acetate ion. Its individual ions will be acetate ions and H plus ions. Where will be there? Acetate ions will be there and H plus ions will be there. So now we are going to get this one, right? When you are going to add in this one, I mean equation 3, we are going to add with equation number 2. Why? Because we get the acetate ions plus H plus will be there. Because you know this one. How do you are going to write this one? Acetic acid. So we are going to write acetic acid as the acetate ions CS3COO minus plus H plus. So here in equation 3 we got this one and also we got the in equation number 2 H plus. But what about this remaining? We are going to subtract in the equation number 1. First we should write the, we are going to add in the equation 3 plus 2. So what is this 3 here? Equation 3. The molar conductivity for the acetate ions plus Na plus. Now we are going to add in the equation number 2. Equation number 2 here, that is plus H plus Cl minus. What you are going to subtract? Subtract in the equation number 1. 1 tells it minus Na plus minus Cl minus. So it is simple calculation here. So what is going to be cancelled here? This is molar conductivity of this Na plus and this Na plus will be cancelled, and this Cl minus and Cl minus will cancel. What is the remaining here? So remaining, this has given the value. So acetate ions, how much will be the value? That is 97 C1 centimeter square per mole plus, and what about this one? H plus and Cl minus, that has given 425.9 minus for NaCl has given 126.4. So after this simple calculation, we are going to obtain the 396.5 Siemens centimeter square per mole. So this is the way of the calculation when they are not given the direct format. So that like this we are going to do this one.